Am I the a-hole for lying to my siblings just to get them out of the house I just inherited? I know it sounds malicious, but guys, this story gets wild. My name's Mr. Reddito. I present daily stories. If that sounds like something you might be into, check out the channel and we're gonna hop right into today's highlighted story. Okay, so I'm the youngest of 5 and this mess only revolves around me. I'm 29 female and my just older sis, female 31, and older brother 36. 2 older sisters are not part of this, thankfully. Okay, so I currently live with my girlfriend at what was my grandma's house. But I bought said home from mom a bit back for cheap. The house was not pristine, and I've sunk a few thousand into it already, and it's looking better. Well, my mom lived in our childhood home with 31-year-old sister and brother the last forever. 2 oldest sisters live in different states, by the way. YS and bro never moved out for longer than a year each before moving back. Both are absolute slobs who refuse to clean up after themselves, and they made our mom clean up after them. She couldn't stand mess and would clean just so she would have to live in filth. Eventually, she, in her 60s, could not stand to live there anymore, so I asked her to come live with me. They essentially drove our mother out of her own home because they were such slobs. Well, she lived with me happily. My house is clean and she did not have to work and just enjoyed her time in the garden. But she passed away not too long ago. I've barely been coping because out of all my siblings, I was closest with our mom. Our personalities just meshed well, whereas my siblings, didn't. She loved them and she would not have cared for them for so long if she did not. But they stressed her out unbelievably. Well, I found out our mom left her house to me only. She left each of my siblings some money, but the house and everything of hers is now mine. My sibs who live in that house did not like it and pitched a fit. Said I manipulated mom at her weakest into giving that house when they should have gotten it. I told them to go to hell. And the only reason it probably got left to me is because mom knew I'd at least remember to pay the property tax each year, so the house would not get taken. Neither of them pay any bills, save for their phone only. So she probably doubted that they'd keep the house long if she gave it to them. Well, they expected me to follow in mom's footstep and pay all the bills there for them. I laughed and told them that going forward they'd be paying rent and all utilities if they wanted to stay. And they need to keep the place clean or they were out. They flipped their crap and screamed that it was their childhood home and I could not do this. I said the deed is in my name, so I very much can. I sent them a letter that basically said they can either pay rent or they'd be out. They refused, so I sent them another letter saying they had 30 days to vacate the premises because I'd sold the house. They went ape-bat crazy, but they did not have a leg to stand on, so they bailed. I've since cleaned up the place. It looked like a drug den and cost a lot to deep clean and fix stuff. And I'm renting it out to a nice Asian couple who have a lot of exotic fish. I told some friends I lied about selling the house, and they said it was an a-hole move. Am I the a-hole? Guys, in my opinion, I think this is an easy conclusion. I say not the a-hole. In fact, I think the mother left property to OP because she knew that OP would take care of it, would take care of the maintenance, would pay for the housing bills yearly, would just cover it all. And that's why she got the house. I also do not think that OP's the a-hole for telling her siblings she sold the house. It seemed like they were trying to take advantage of her, and I think it's not fair. Let me know exactly what you guys make of this story. Drop your comments down below, as I would love to hear your opinion on it. Okay, we still have a few more stories left in today's video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, smash that like button, and let's jump right into story number 2. Some background info. I'm a 20-year-old male, and I started to live with my bio father and his wife a week ago. My mother died when I was 18, and since this house has been passed down on my mother's family for generations, I legally inherited it. My mom and bio father divorced when I was 15. I was never really close to him, to be clear. If I were to rate our relationship, it would be a 3 out of 10. I don't know the reason, but we're just pretty civil to each other. Last year, he married this woman somewhere abroad, and although I was invited, I did not go because that woman and me are practically strangers. We never talked before, and I only know her appearance from a picture. Because of the pandemic, my bio father asked if they can live here for a while since his pay was recently cut. So it's hard to keep living in their apartment. Since we have a decent relationship with each other, and him saying that they'll agree to any condition I set, I won't drive further in the conditions, just normal roommate stuff like not meddling with each other's business. I let them in last week. The first few days were actually pretty normal. Just some snide comments from his wife when he's not around about my lifestyle, my house, my decorations, my garden, and whatever she thinks is not good enough. I just always answer her with, "It's my life. I'm an adult in my own home. I would appreciate it if you don't voice out of your unsolicited opinions." Then yesterday, for whatever reason it is, she just barged into my room, demanding for me to be healthy and bond with them. Then proceeded to take my laptop, which I paid for with my own money. Separate modem, which I also pay for, of course. I was irritated, and irritated said, "What the F are you doing?" She replied with, "I'm making you live a healthier life. From now on, I will regulate your usage of internet and laptop. I'll be in charge under this roof." After hearing that, I can't help but laugh. I just laughed real hard at her face like, "Girl, this is my house and I provide for myself." I just answered her with this, "You high on marijuana or something? Seems you forgot this is not your house, this is my house. You don't get to make the rules here, I do. Disturb me one more time and I'll make sure you live on the streets." My father's livid last night, and he demanded me to apologize. Of course, I didn't. I just reiterated what I said to her, that this is my house, and if the problems are whatsoever, they're free to live on the streets. Now, some of my cousins are telling me that I shouldn't have used my house that I inherited from mom to shut them up, especially now due to the pandemic. I don't really care about the two of them, but I do value my cousin's opinion. Am I the a-hole in this situation? The straight, pure, evil audacity of Stepmother is absolutely mind-boggling. I mean, OP was doing her father and stepmom such a favor and letting them stay there. I mean, if I was OP, I would say, hey, the door's right there, don't let it hit you on the way out. The way that the stepmom just barges into her room and starts making all these rules when she absolutely contributes nothing to the household is so wild to me. I don't know. Maybe I'm over-exaggerating. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. There's still one more story left in today's video. I hope everyone's having an amazing day. Let's hop into the final story. This is my first and only post. I mainly lurk around. I thought stuff like this only happened in movies, but it happened and would like some unbiased opinions. More lighthearted than some of the other posts on here. So, I have a cousin, Kat, who got married to Henry early this year. We weren't close as kids, and she was pretty spoiled and would always brag about how much designer stuff she has. Be really mean to people under the guise of, quote, "just trying to help," etc. Don't go out of our way to interact with one another, but I do see her at family events and whatnot, and we do make small talk. I'm engaged to Chris, who's a software engineer. He's co-head of his department at work with 2 other people. Not too long ago, Chris was telling me about how they had some new employees, and one of them sounded really familiar. He told me the name, and I realized it was Kat's husband. Also, he and Henry had not met face to face yet. Kat and Henry had a huge wedding. It was really nice, but all she did for months is brag about how amazing her wedding was. The wedding stuff died down now, so recently she started going on and on about how wealthy her husband is and what a great lifestyle they have. One of my other aunts celebrated her 50th birthday about a week ago. I went with Chris and Kat was there with Henry. We were chatting and Kat was saying how Henry was a fantastic new job that pays even more than the previous one. Henry chimed in and said that they were already planning to buy a new house. Kat asked what Chris does. I said he was an engineer like Henry and he has a good job too. But I'll admit, I left out where he works on purpose. She smiled and nodded and said, "It's fine. She understands I'm embarrassed and wants to keep it quiet." So that was pretty much the end of the convo. Then, when we were leaving, she pulled me aside and told me, quote, "Let her and Henry know if we need help with the wedding." Obviously, I knew what she meant, and it was just another dig, but I said bye and left. Literally 2 days later, I got a direct message from Kat, and she's furious. Well, as much as one can be through text. She's mad I did not tell them that Chris was one of Henry's bosses. Henry was shocked to see him in the office, and Chris made a comment. "Tell Kat and me we don't need help, but thanks for offering." Henry's really embarrassed, and so's Kat. And she said that we made them look bad on purpose, and if she knew, she'd have never made those comments. It was my duty to tell her and Henry. Chris and I had a really good laugh over this, but she sent a text out to the family group chat, saying she was blindsided by me. A few others said what I did was petty and wrong. So, am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole, not the a-hole, not the a-hole. I love the way OP handled this, and this was not petty at all. I think this person deserved it. The fact that OP had the resilience to keep low and not ruin the secret, I can only imagine Henry's face when he walks into work and notices one of his bosses is someone he already knows. Guys, let me know what you think of this story. I think it was hilarious, and I have to say, I do believe OP deserves not the a-hole. Let me know exactly what you think of this. Guys, that's all the content I have for you today. My name's Mr. Reddito. If you're new to the channel, do consider subscribing as I present daily stories. Okay, guys, have an amazing night, and I'll catch you in the next one.